That's the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayeni. Let's speak to a private legal practitioner and anti-corruption crusader, Counsel Martin Kpebu. Good evening to you. Lawyer, very grateful for your time tonight on 505. Mr. Kpebu, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I can hear you now. So I'm sure by now you've been able to listen to details of that press conference by the Attorney General and the revelation of certain properties that were bought between 2018 and 2020 by these two individuals. Is there a surprise element in the revelations you've heard so far about this case for you?
Yes, it's yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no.
What is the
yes and no? Because as for corruption or causing financial loss and other forms of waste of public funds or loss of public funds, we're expecting to get such stories. Okay. Yeah, we're expecting to get them. Why do you think we're making so much noise against Akufo-Addo that his government was riddled with corruption? And through the corruption perception index showed it that for 8 years he couldn't score any mark above John Mahama's mark. His Akufo-Addo's highest mark in the fight against corruption was 43. Coincidentally, that was the lowest mark John Mahama made when he was president 2012 to 2016. So if you look at the statistics and things we've heard informally, I'm not surprised. To be candid with you, this one is even small. This one is chicken change. You are going to hear the big gargantuan financial loss, etc. later.
The $7 million is chicken change?
Yeah, this one is chicken change. Wow. You wait. You hear bigger sums in due course. Yes.
And I'm sure you are saying this from the oral perspective, the evidence you gathered.
Oh, I cannot answer based on aura. Okay. You know, we've not been given clearance to talk about aura. Okay. But as I mentioned to you, I just remember the noise I was making every day. Akufo-Addo, corruption. His highest mark is John Mahama's lowest mark. It's because of these things. So not about. I mean, if you use what do you call it, non-thought-provoking, or put it bluntly, common sense in the analysis. It will be surprising that all the noise we're making about corruption, it will turn out that 7 million is the highest. No, it cannot be.
With a revelation by the Attorney General, and he says that he will not rush to court without concrete evidence, people were questioning why the need for the Attorney General to brief the media when he has this evidence and not head to court. Why have the press conference?
Oh, the press conference is accountability. It's accountability, very, very important. And also those saying he should go to court, it's also to be expected. In every society, you won't find all of us having the same opinion on matters that happen in the state. So it's okay, let's grant them their right to voice their opinions, that they just want him to go to court straight away. But those of us who are interested in hearing stuff even before they go to court, we are very appreciative. It's good because, you know, there's extreme pressure on him. Every day, me cries at work, they keep asking, Ora, hey, when the case is going to court, you can't catch them. And, you know, people are very angry. So, you know, that preparing to go to court takes some time. So in the interim, Ayeni coming out to give us details like this is sweet, for lack of a better way. Very, very sweet. Actually, literally, because then we have an insight into what is happening. Yes. Okay. We had heard some of these things informally, but you couldn't talk about them because you didn't have evidence. But now he's confirmed them. So it's good. Overall, it's good he has come out.
Since you're a lawyer, let me ask you. The amount that was withdrawn from the bank in a day, over 7 million. One would say, are laws in favor of that when individuals even go to the bank and want to withdraw 1,000 and 2,000 cedis? The rigorous process they go through, and how come the banks allow these quantum to be withdrawn in a day by an individual?
Yeah, so we have to direct the questions to the bank, because what you are saying is about the suspicious transaction report that the banks must give to the FIC.
Yes.
Which they haven't done in this case. So they have to do it. They have to do it.
We have lost Mr. Martin Kpebu on the line. We will still stay on this matter a while longer. Lawyer Amanda, is lawyer on the line?
Good evening.
Oh, good evening, Amanda. Very grateful for your time tonight on 505. I'm sure. Okay, now the phone lines is playing some tricks on us. I don't know what the phone lines has decided to be doing this evening, but we'll try and re-establish contact with the two lawyers and then speak to them as well. There are several perspectives to this matter, and the revelation, people are shocked about it. Some are saying that, oh, indeed, we really have money in this country, and we go to the IMF to give us a loan when an individual can get $7 million, buy property. And then this brings even to question some judge's comment he made some time ago that real estate maybe is being used for money laundering. Dominic Ayeni didn't only talk about the former National Signals Bureau boss. He also talked about the chief executive of the National Service Scheme or National Service Authority. You remember that there's been some investigations ongoing about alleged ghost names. Well, he said a member of parliament was paid to even suppress that information.
In the National Service scandal, 8 suspects have been interrogated, and a good number of them have started singing. They've, they are cooperating with they started singing, literally. So we will give you details of their songs at the appropriate time. Indeed, we now have evidence of payments that were made into the accounts of the top executives of the National Service by vendors, private vendors, and staff of the scheme. We also have evidence that in November 2024, and listen to this carefully, the CEO of the National Service Scheme and others paid a Ghanaian MP to kill the story in the media and to defend them. Now this is a developing story, and more will come out very soon.
That's the Attorney General again. Let's go back to the phone line. I'm sure this time we will be lucky. Lawyer Amanda Clinton has rejoined us. Lawyer, good evening to you. Can you hear me?
Good evening, I can.
Fantastic. Great. Now we have a clearer line. I asked Martin Kpebu, he says that he was not really surprised about the revelations and that the $7 million is even the least because the gargantuan is yet to come. For you, is this surprising, the revelations by the Attorney General this afternoon?
It's not surprising because, Oral has alleged that it's $21.19 billion in looted state assets. So, we would expect to see at least these figures.
Did the AG do anything wrong in today's press briefing? Just like people would say, okay, you are the Attorney General, you're supposed to be prosecuting. Why the need for a press conference if you feel that you have enough evidence to put these people behind bars?
I think the AG is right because the 1992 Constitution, it obligates public officials to act in the interests of the public and be held accountable for misappropriation of funds. And he's empowered by Article 88 in terms of prosecutorial powers. And we have to remember, this is not just domestic policy, it is international compliance, and it feeds into, the IMF deal that they're trying to renegotiate and different things. But I truly believe that Oral sets a precedent that corruption will not go unpunished.
Again, you're seeing the property that the AG lists that have been bought within a few years. If you're looking at 2018 to 2020, lots of it in real estate, some $2 million smuggled in there. And I remember the Minister for Communications and Digital Innovation has stated at some point that real estate is now the preferred option for money launderers. We had those in that sector complaining about it. From the revelation that has come today, what do you think should be done to address these issues where an individual cannot just say put $2 million in real estate just like that without any source?
Well, if they do, real estate is a very good way of tracing, and Yoko in particular is empowered to go to court and get immediate orders to just freeze until their case is over. But this was very serious. I mean, I think they pointed out 27 houses in Kwabena, each $295,000. You know, they've also pointed to properties in London, property 1 and 2, yet to be determined the amounts. And they're talking about initial cash deposits of $500,000 to buy 5 houses in Mayfair Estate, etc. And the list goes on, and Yoko is still compiling. You see, so this is very serious. And I think it's great that it's in property, because Yoko can literally do an overnight court order in terms of apply to the court for it and freeze it and put this back in, you know, the public purse. So it's wonderful. And it restores public trust in democracy.
And these are the ones you can point to: assets, property, accounts. What about fiscal cash that Yoko cannot be able to trace?
No, this is just the beginning. And, you know, as someone who's dealt with white-collar crime, etc., it's very hard to hide money, you see. So even with the cash payments, monies were taken out. Now these people have been exposed. You know, they can try and give some back to the state in order to get less time served. But it's very hard to hide that kind of money, because Yoko, they're used to tracing. So family, friends, close network, companies suddenly set up, and, you know, so they're familiar with how people try and hide at least $10,000 upwards at a time, which these people would have tried to do.
So, do we just have to keep our fingers crossed? Because you say that money is difficult to hide. Maybe the person didn't go to the bank for it. The person has it. It's in cash. He or she is keeping it. And the person would have a way to, quote unquote, clean the money so that you cannot trace it. How do we trace such money?
Well, this particular person seemed to prefer real estate because he thought it would wash his money, you see. So that was where a lot of the money went. We also know how much it could be in terms of it's $7 million that was taken or misappropriated for something that was supposed to go into a cybersecurity infrastructure project. You see what I mean? So they'll start minusing the amounts, and the properties are quite sizable. So he was quite a sensible investor in terms of he stuck to property, and anything else, you know, they'll start talking. I mean, I think they also arrested his wife and different things. And in Ghana, it's a huge scandal, you know.
Well, we are waiting to see how this pans out. Amanda, we are very grateful that you joined us. Amanda Clinton is a private legal practitioner. And in case you've not heard, let me go through the list of the properties Yoko has put together. They say properties acquired by 2 suspects since 2018. Yoko will continue to update the list of assets. And then it comes Kwabena Edubuahin. Number 2 streams. Park Drive, Mayfair Estates, La Accra, valued at $1 million. Okay, and then there's also 15 million Ghana cedis. Kwabena Edu Buahin, Angela, J. Boating. They own it together with his wife. There's also number 6 Edith Avenue, Mayfair Estates, La Accra. Initial cash deposit of $500,000 to buy 5 houses. There's also Kwabena Edubuahin and Angela J. Number 7 Edith Avenue, Mayfair, $200,000. It goes on again. There's also Kwabena Edubuahin, Angela J. Boating, number 8 Edith Avenue, Mayfair Estates, La Accra, $97,815. Kwabena Edubuahin, Angela J. Boating, number 9 Edith Avenue, Mayfair Estates, La Accra, $270,000. Kwabena Edubuahin and Angela J. Boating, number 10 Edith Avenue, Mayfair Estates, La Accra, $150,000. Kwabena Edubuahin, Angela J. Boating, Vertex Properties, Oyarifa Gated Estate Development, 27 houses each, $295,000. In Ghana cedis is 127 million Ghana cedis. Kwabena Edubuahin, Angela J. Boating property in London is 1. Kwabena Edubuahin, Angela J. Boating property in London 2. And then there's also the date of transaction and then an amount. If you look at the date of transaction, you have 11 February 2020, 16 million fixed deposit from payment received from BNC National Security. This was from the initial payment of 27,100,000 Ghana cedis. April 3, 2020, you have 7,250,000 Ghana cedis cash withdrawal by Kwabena Edubuahin. This payment came out of the second transfer of 21 million from BNC of National Security to BNC to his private BNC company. So he made a cash withdrawal of 7,250,000 in a day. Then you come to April 24, 2020, you have 1,500,000 Ghana cedis cash withdrawal. On the same day, he made payment to a real estate company to the tune of 1,566,000 Ghana cedis. From February to September 2020, out of 49 million Ghana cedis, which was transferred from BNC National Security to suspect private BNC, about 99% was withdrawn by him personally. They were large withdrawals. And then Yoko goes on to say we are still tracking suspect Kwabena Edubuahin's assets that include the next few days and file charges against him. And so that's the details of what has transpired. Let's speak to the Chief Executive Officer of Dusk Capital, Bernard Osei-Tu. Good evening to you, Mr. Osei-Tu. It's been a long while. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing very well. Thank you. How about you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for asking. And it's interesting, this is what is making us talk in a long time.
I know, right?
You are in this sector. I mean, I'm sure you heard the Attorney General. When you mentioned the figures and the amount involved, what was your immediate reaction?
Quite shocking, I must say. But again, let me first and foremost say good evening to you and to your choice listeners this evening. And again, so let's issue a disclaimer that these are all alleged issues raised by the Attorney General. I'm sure until he's proven guilty before a competent law or before a competent court of law, we can't profile him as guilty of whatever is being alleged by the Honorable Minister for Justice. Yes, but my initial thoughts, I must say, was quite shocking.
Okay. What was shocking about it for you? It looks like the phone line has decided to today play some tricks on us. We will still try and raise Mr. Osei-Tu back on the line, and then we'll have that conversation, because it's surprising that somebody can withdraw 7,250,000 cash in a day from a bank. And then there's also another withdrawal, 24th, 1,500,000. On that same day, he made the payment to a real estate company, and the issues about the financial sector and the complicity of this whole thing. Mr. Seitu, welcome back. I lost you when you were making your point.
Yes. So my initial thought was that it's quite shocking, and to have an appointment of the state was engaged in such level of financial misconduct, and like I said earlier on, these are alleged cases issued by the Minister of Justice and Attorney General. Until proven guilty, we can only hope and assume that these are naturally the case. But if they are, it's very shocking, and I'm sure the law has to take its full course. Yes.
What makes it shocking? Is it the amount involved or the processes in, as it were, withdrawing the money or the assets the money has been used for?
First and foremost, we were told that the money was intended for a certain purpose to help in the course of his work in terms of cybersecurity is concerned. And again, it's also alleged that these funds were misdirected for its initial intended purpose and has been diverted into his personal account. And these are quite shocking revelations, to say the least. As a public officer, you are entitled to hold your office in such a good manner, not to misconduct yourself or that of the financial, issue that comes into your office. So for me, the first side of the shocking bit is the intended purpose, because the money was intended for a certain purpose. And once you diverted that purpose for your own personal gain, whether it's even is $10,000, whether it's even is $20,000, that decision alone to direct that fund that is meant for a public good for your personal resources is something that, for me, is shocking, and it has to be brought to book. Yes.
According to the details the Attorney General provided today and the list of Yoko things, April 3, 2020, 7,250,000 cedis cash withdrawal by Kwabena Edubuahin. How easy is it to withdraw this quantum from the bank?
It's very easy, depending on the terms and conditions that relates to your account.
Okay.
So, for example, if it's your personal account and you are the sole signatory to the account, as a matter of fact, as long as your bank has availability of the amount of money you are requesting from your account, it is not so much of a difficulty to withdraw that amount of money. As a matter of fact, there is no limit on you as long as you are the sole signatory to your private personal account. So if you have, let's say, 10 million Ghana cedis, and many a times you will send an early notice to your bank, and that's what most of the banks demand, that when you want to withdraw a certain amount of money over a certain limit, give them, let's say, 24, 48-day notice, 48 hours notice, sorry. And once that notice is sent to your bank, if you want to withdraw 10 million Ghana, that bank will make that available for you. So in terms of the difficulty of withdrawing such huge amount, in practice, it is not that so difficult. As long as you go through these processes with most of your banks, you are able to withdraw that.
So how is it maybe somewhat stressful for people to just withdraw even 2,000 from their account?
That's what I'm saying. It relates from bank to bank.
Okay.
Because I don't think it should be an issue that you should go through a bit of stress when you want to withdraw 2,000 cedis from your personal account, and when you have 10,000 Ghana cedis. Once you draw up a check, you should be able to withdraw your own money. At no point in time should you walk into a banking hall to withdraw money from your own coffers, and the bank will refuse that we will not give you that money. Those issues may come up maybe when maybe that particular account has been frozen, or there's a sanction on your account, or there's a court order on your account. These are some of the few reasons a bank may demand that you cannot withdraw from your own account. But if there are no issues. There are no court issues on it. Your account has not been frozen. You don't have any issue of Yoko or any of these security agencies. You should be able to draw any amount of money from your account as long as you have that amount of money that is comfortably in your account. Okay. Yeah.
The Attorney General had some warning for the banks that he says are associated with Mr. Dubois. He says even as they work towards getting a freeze order, these banks should desist from maybe making any transfer of assets or any transactions in these accounts because they are monitoring with the FIC, and any bank manager or any worker in the bank that goes ahead to do any transactions because these persons are persons of interest, there's going to be a problem and they'll be arrested. This immediately brings in the question of, is it to say that maybe sometimes there's some collusion between the banks and individuals to transfer monies on the blind side of the state or something like that happening?
It is difficult to assume that. Let me answer the first question in the call from the Attorney General, what the banks to do as they go through the process to take a court order to have set accounts officially frozen. The banks work with orders and documentations.
Okay.
The banks don't work with lip service and hearsay and all that.
Okay.
The banks are mandated by laws and they are governed by regulations, and they are also governed by the Bank of Ghana. So the Honorable Minister, with the highest of respect to him, he needs to, as fast as possible, enforce that process of going to court and having such accounts quickly frozen. Until that is done, by mere hearsay or having a press conference will not put the banks in any way to comply with that directive, because the customer too has a right.
Okay.
And for example, once the account is not frozen, and any of such person walk into the account to the bank to transact money, and there is no an official document from the law court to say that Mr. So you have been investigated and hence your account has been frozen, but the mere services of a press conference, the bank refuses to honor any check, that customer has a right to sue the bank.
Okay.
And it can also seek for compensations and damages against the bank.
Wow. So even with a directive from the Attorney General at the press conference, the bank can ignore it without.
The bank can ignore it. The directive is not binding on any bank. It will become binding when it become official. With the greatest of respect to the Attorney General, he knows the processes that he needs to follow, and I'm sure as we speak right now, that process has commenced. So they go through the court, and the court will grant them that ex parte order. And once that is placed on the bank is liable to comply with that directive from the court. But until that is done, I don't think the bank will do that, or any of the banks will do that.
Okay.
Yes.
And the Attorney General cannot arrest them based on that?
No. Wow. No, you can't. Because my sister, we work with laws and regulations. And the laws are not based on hearsay or simply sitting in the comfort of your office or issuing a press statement. And because it has to be proven with documents to state it. Okay. Because there are two issues involved. The customer has a relationship with the bank.
True.
And the state is also doing their work by trying to enforce an order. The bank is not saying they will not enforce the order when you bring an order. Okay. They will enforce that order. But until they see a document that says Mr. So account should be frozen going forward, until that is done, the gentleman, as we speak now, whoever he is, can still walk to his bank and withdraw money. But the bank will only be liable if it is proven that at the time of the withdrawal of the money, the bank has been duly served that such accounts should be frozen. Okay. And the process of freezing accounts will be made and a copy sent to the customer as well. Yes.